Peace was good. Welcome to the Hip Hop Album Review. This is part 83. The album that we'll be reviewing today is LL Cool J's fourth album, Mama Should Knock You Out, released in 1990. Everybody should know who LL Cool J is. You know, one of the illest MCs of all time. He, is part of Def Jam. Part of Def Jam legacy. You know what I mean? He's pretty much like one of the pioneers of Def Jam. Like, not like a CEO wise, but like pretty much like him like giving up, giving Def Jam, putting like Def Jam on the forefront in a sense, you know what I mean? But anyways, enough of that. I did a review of his Phenomenon album. So if you want to know more on who LL is, definitely check that review out. And also just did a review on of his second album, Bigger Than Deffer. And I did a review on that, so check that one out. So right after 1987, 2 years later, he had released Walking with a Panther, I believe it's called. Yeah, Walking with a Panther, released in '89. And that song's like Big Old Butt, Jiggling Baby and stuff like that. But a lot of people was kind of, even though it was a successful album, but it had a lot of mixed to negative reviews, deeming the the album being like a flop, like it was like a whack album, and deeming it too commercial, things of that nature. And there was a reason for that, because the producers that produced on Bigger Than Deffer, the LA Posse, the one DJ Pooh's old production team, wanted more money because they saw the success of Bigger Than Deffer, like I said, being Bigger Than Deffer being his highest selling album. So because of that, because they felt like they were responsible for that success, which they are. Let's be real, because without the beats, the artist ain't shit. Like, let's keep it funky. I mean, it's one thing to have lyrics, but you gotta have the beats to back you up. But anyways, because of that, they wanted more money. But Deffer was like, nah, fuck that. I ain't giving you no more money. You just being greedy and shit. Just be happy that you got put on, and you made some money. You know what I'm saying? So alright, cool. So fuck you. So they left. They never produced an album on that album. So he got some other producers, and I believe he hired the Bomb Squad, I think the Bomb Squad, to do a couple tracks on the album. But because of that actually altered LL Cool J's sound. So that's why it kind of sounded the way it sounded. So even though it was successful, but a lot of people was kind of calling the album kind of whack. Was calling it whack. So that fucked up LL Cool J's head. So it was like, fuck, man, like damn, he was complaining it was too commercial, too many love songs and all that shit. So he's like, damn, I'm fucked up. Like this is the end of my career. Damn, what should I do? So he had to talk with his grandmother, just venting and shit like that. And his grandmother, how moms are, just being like the biggest support that a son or daughter can have, or even your father, whatever. But his grandmother being like the biggest role model from him, she just said, knock him out, just knock him out. And that's how this album came about, just knock him out. Mama Said Knock You Out. And that's where he got the title from. So LL Cool J, he was like, alright, I'm gonna go with that. But then he was kind of he wanted to go for a more harder edge. He wanted to prove to the people, like, I'm not just a soft ass nigga, like just rapping about girls and shit like that. I could knock you out, I could knock your head off on the mic, you know what I'm saying? So, long and behold, he hired Marley Marl, and this is how this album was born. Because at the time, Marley Marl was like one of the biggest producers out at the time, you know what I mean? Because he was the DJ premier of the late 80s, early 90s. He was the go-to producer. It's just like how in the early to mid 90s, it was Pete Rock, and then from the mid 90s to the early 2000s, it was DJ Premier. So you kind of see the pattern from that. But anyways, so Marley Marl does all the production, all the beats. So except for Jiggling Baby, it was remixed, but it was co-produced by Marley Marl. Yeah, so that's what the album. So that's the background of that story. So this is what the album looks like. The CD looks like. Open it up. You see LL right here. You know, just like with his hat, you know, just fucking, you know, just flicking the finger or whatever. You know, just LL just, you know, holding his hands and shit. So this album was pretty much like a fuck you to all the haters and critics, you know what I mean, of LL. So that's what I got out of that. So like I said, the producers of the album is just Marley Marl. Marley Marl produces the whole album. Singles off this album is The Booming System, Around the Way Girl, Mama Should Knock You Out. Yeah, Mama Should Knock You Out, and To the Break of Dawn. Those are the singles off the album, alright? You know how I get down. I'm gonna break through some of the songs, alright? First song, The Booming System. I believe it was the first single off the album. That song is pretty much talking about, you know, just you having a nice car, a nice ass car, having a nice system in your car, just driving around. You know, you having a nice system, your music sounded nice and loud, and you know, the drums kick in and all that. You know how that shit is. Like, just having a nice car, having a nice system, you're getting all this attention, especially from the girls, because you know girls, you know, they like nice cars. You know, they like how the car looks and stuff like that. So I know a lot of people can relate to that, you know, because, you know, when you have a nice car, nice sound, it gives you confidence. Like, oh, okay, people like my shit, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I got out of that, you know, just making that car music. That's what I got out of that. Track 2, Around the Way Girl, self-explanatory. It's just talking about, you know, he wants a hood chick. He wants a chick that's bad as hell, but she's educated, but at the same time she's hood, you know what I mean? She's like, she has an attitude, you know what I mean, where, like, you know, like, she's a good looking girl, smart, but she has an attitude. So don't think, like, she's like a tough cookie. So don't think that, you know, because she's a good looks, that she has good looks, that you can just push her around. Nah. She'll know how to fend for herself. And he was looking for that type of girl, and that's what I got from that. Pretty much a ride or die chick. That's what he wants, and he was searching for that. That's what I got out from that. That's Around the Way Girl. I believe that was the second single as well. Next track, Eat 'Em Out, Chill. It's just a braggadocio track. There's a line that I really like where he says, I write rhymes and I write rhymes that shine like a lipstick. So much material, but not materialistic. That shit was so ill. What I got from that line is when he said, you know, don't think because I made so many, you know, I made a lot of songs about girls that, you know, there's more to me than just that. I could still rip the mic, still bite niggas' heads off. You know, I ain't no sucker, and I'm versatile. That's what I got from that line. He definitely did this thing on that song. Track 4, Mr. Goodbar, is pretty much about, he sees this girl that he really likes, he really wants to get with, but you know how it is, yo. You know, I know all my dudes been through that. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, you see this one chick that you love, or not love, but that you really want to get with. You know, either you just want to fuck or you just want her to be your girl. But of course, she has a man. So him being who he is, he's like, fuck that. I'm gonna get this chick. So he introduces himself, but he introduces Mr. Goodbar. Like, you know, he's you know, comparing himself into a chocolate bar, and it's like, yo, what's your name? Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, you got a man? Alright, cool. Let's just be friends. But just the fact that she said that she has a man, that she said that she has a man, that made him want to go even more. That made him want to be more consistent. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, just chasing after her. You know what I'm saying? Just like, kind of like, alright, fuck that nigga. Like, I'm better. Like, what does he do? What does he have, but I don't have? You know, type of thing. Like, I could do better than him. Trust me, I have something he doesn't have that you enjoy more. That's what I got out from that song, Mr. Goodbar. So, you know, him being a bad boy, you know, playing the bad boy shit. You know what I'm saying? So, track 5, Murdergram, Live at Rap Mania. That's pretty much like another braggadocio track. He fucking goes in on that track. Kind of the same thing with what he did with the song. I believe the song Lyra at the Doo-Wop, what he did, where like he just went in. There was no no choruses. It's just like it really showed him how he had breath control, like where he didn't really stop, like he didn't really stop. He just went in and that's dope. You don't really hear too much from that. You don't hear too much of that anymore in hip hop, man. Because you know Big Daddy Kane did that. Let me change the song. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's like, you know, just people having breath control, MCs having ill breath control. Prime example, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Big Pun, rest in peace. Just cats that don't even catch a breath, but you know they're still in tune, and he definitely displayed that on that song Murdergram. So he just went in. Track 6, Cheesy Rap Blues. That's a pretty interesting track because that song is pretty much about how since he got famous, a lot of friends that he was with was just with him for the fame. Like these motherfuckers that, you know, that was around him or that was around him before the fame, was just with him. But then as soon as like he got the fame and the money, you know, he noticed a lot of things, like where like you got all these motherfuckers that, you know, that's trying to be his friend just because of his fame and stuff like that. And like you know, like when when all that fame goes away, are those same friends gonna stick around? Like they're gonna be around you when you're broke? And the answer is no. And that's what I got from that track. And same thing with the girls, man. Like, you know, the girls, they chase the fame and the money, and you know, when you're broke, nigga, they don't want to fuck with a broke nigga, you know. And that's what I got from that. And that's just like the pros and cons of being famous. And that's what he talks about with this album. And he's dealt with that, like where like, you know, I mean, not to say that he wasn't successful or he was broke, but it's just like something that happens, you know. And that's what I got out of that. Pretty dope, and you don't really hear too many people talk about that, so I think that's pretty dope of him to do that. Track 7, Farmers Boulevard, our anthem. It's pretty much a song that, you know, where he talks about where he's from. But what's cool about that track is that he actually brought in friends of his that he grew up with that actually raps too. So he was like, alright, cool, I'm gonna put you on my album, show you the world, introduce you guys to the world. So, you know, just spit what you gotta say your best shit, I'll put you on the album. And that's what I got from that. So I think that was pretty cool of LL to do that, to put his mans on. So that's pretty cool. It's like 3 of them. One of them was Bomb, High C, and I forgot the other dude. It's not credited on the back listen. Track 8, Mama Said Knock You Out. That was another single. Dope track, self-explanatory. It's just another braggadocious track. Believe it or not, that song was actually my introduction to LL Cool J. I remember hearing that shit on the radio way back in the day. Like I'm talking like 91, 92, and that's when the radio actually used to play dope shit. Yeah, that's a pretty dope track. That's like anytime I hear that song, like you get hype. You know what I mean? Just like, in fact, I believe Mike Tyson back in the day used to play that as his theme song, like when he would come out and shit. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but I wouldn't be surprised because that song is so energetic. It make you want to just start fighting niggas and shit. Track 9, Milky Cereal, very, very, very dope track. It's kind of similar to the song Candy off his Bigger and Deafer album, where he displays names of cereals as a metaphor for girls. Like he said, like for example, he'll say, I met this girl named Frosted Flake. She's white as hell, but she has a lot of soul. You know, shit like that. He said, I went to Vegas. I met this chick named Lucky Charms. She had a 4-leaf clover and a whole lot of and a bag of gold or some shit like and a big gold chain. It was some shit like that. And he said like with the Frosted Flakes shit, like we went to the club and I think it's called Cheerios. You know, shit like that. And that's clever shit. And I wish MCs would do that. And you don't really hear people do that. And believe it or not, I feel like Jezza kind of got influenced by LL when he listened to that song, which he did the song Labels off his Liquor Stores album, and then he did the song called Fame off, I believe, on his not the Beneath the Surface track, but album, but the album after that, Legend of the Liquor Store, the song Fame. He did that same thing where he talks about like the celebrities and stuff like that. So I feel like Jizza owes LL that too. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people don't really give LL that recognition. So definitely give him his props. Track 10, Jingling Baby remix, but still jingling. Did not like that song at all. You know, just didn't fit the album. I don't know why he put it. Track 11, To the Break of Dawn. That was actually the first song that came out of this album. That was like more of a teaser. That was like more of the kind of like you know how Jay-Z put out The Takeover and Nas put out Ether. That was pretty much that. That's what I got from that. Because at that song he does 3 MCs. He does Kumo D, Ice-T, and MC Hammer. Why he does MC Hammer, I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about that. In the description box, if somebody knows, somebody that's older than me or whoever, or any hip hop head, let me know in the description box why he does MC Hammer. But he definitely went in. He had a funny line where he said Kumo D with them Star Trek shades on. Like, that shit had me rolling. Because it's fucking true. Because he had them fucking LeVar Burton, you know, Star Trek shades on, like he used to rock and shit like that. But, you know, I thought that was pretty dope. And by the way, I forgot who the subscriber that told me to listen to that Kumo D song. I didn't hear it yet. My bad. I will listen to it. I'll let you know what I think. I'll message you, shit like that. To the Break of Dawn. Track 12, 6 Minutes of Pleasure. That's pretty much like a girl song, you know what I mean? It was alright. I just feel like it didn't fit the album. I would have done without that. Track 13, Illegal Search. Self-explanatory. Just talking about him, you know, just dealing with the fucking cops. And let me just put a disclaimer. Not all cops are assholes. You got good cops, but you got some cops that fuck it up for other cops and, you know, give cops a bad reputation. But fuck the cops anyways, you know. But like I said, not all cops. But all the good cops, I salute you. All the bad cops, go fuck yourself, eat a dick. Anyways, Illegal Search. We talked about, you know, young successful black man with a lot of money. You know, he's earned the money that he has. You know, he's not doing it illegal. He has a music career, nice car, nice jewelry, all that stuff. But, you know, the cops hating on him because he's black and he has a lot of money. He's driving a nice car. So it's like, all right, cool. Are you doing that? Okay, cool. I got you. I'm just fucking with you just because, you know, just being a hater. And that's what I got from that song. You know what I mean? You know, just him, the cops pulling him over because of his status and just fucking with him, which is illegal. You know what I mean? Just like him going through that, just pulling him going to jail for some bullshit, you know, that he had nothing to do with. And that's what I got out of that. And the last track, Power of God, you know, it's pretty much, you know, just like, you know, with the power of God, just like if you have God in your life, you know, things will go well for you. You know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, if you stop doing the bad shit, that good things will come to you just by the grace of God. And that's what I got, man. And that's it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. Like I said, in my opinion, I feel like this is one of his best albums. So if you guys are not familiar with LL Cool J, you want to get to know who he is, I would say start with this album. Or if you're brave, check out his first album that came out in '85 called Radio. But I know a lot of heads today don't really like 80s hip hop. With me, with 80s hip hop, I like 80s hip hop, but it's not my go-to too. But you definitely gotta respect the 80s, because without the 80s, you wouldn't have certain artists that's out today. So you gotta give props to the 80s. But I would say start with this album. If you don't know who LL Cool J is, then work your way up. Or if you're brave, start with the Radio album, then work your way up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, very dope. Like I said, this was like LL Cool J's answer to fuck you to everybody that dissed him, that, you know, said that he was a lover boy, fucking ladies man, that all he raps is about his love ballads and all that shit, that all he does is like, you know, commercial shit. Nah, he's like, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna make an album and prove to you I'm that type of dude that I could rip your head off, you know, I could still make street shit, you know what I mean? And that's what I got from this song, from this album. So by far, definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite LL Cool J albums. It's one of his best albums. And that's it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. Stay tuned for more videos. Peace.